Hello and welcome to the Wynonna Earp Reaction Podcast here on Plaster's YouTube channel. We are talking Season 4, Episode 9, Crazy. I'm Yael Tygiel, that's Kari Lane. Amber is monitoring the chat. Alexis is unfortunately not with us, but we do have some adorable blonde boy. We got Tim is here. Hello, Tim.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Before we jump in, I want to start the rumor that an Instant Star reboot is happening. That's what's going on with this hair. I'm starting that rumor.
Well, nothing would make me happier. Unfortunately, that's not why I have the blonde hair. Yeah.
Well, if you want to tell us about it, you can. If not, we'll move it along.
Unfortunately, I cannot say why my hair is blonde.
But it looks great.
I did just wrap a new show called Surreal Estate that will be coming out this summer. So
amazing. And if you are in our live chat right now, please feel free to submit your questions for Tim. We will be taking audience participation questions as we talk about this episode. Let's start with overall thoughts. Kari, what did you think of this episode?
Oh, it was so much fun. I was a little concerned with the early episodes having some kind of tropes that they handled as best they could, but I was glad that this didn't do that. And it had a lot of surprising directions of where stuff was going. It wasn't like, oh, I know where this is headed or something like that with maybe where the tropes were before. So I was really excited with this one. And it was just overall so fun and exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I host trivia nights for a company. So watching this and watching people get real competitive, it was like trauma. I was like, oh, God, I needed a trigger warning. Tim, how are you at trivia?
Mediocre, I guess.
Are you a big trivia? Do you like pub trivia? Is that a thing you do?
I mean, we've done it. I'm just kind of like, sure. What are we doing? All right. Okay. I mean, like once I'll get the weird questions, so that's good.
That is good. Somebody's got to know the random weird stuff.
Yeah, I feel like I'd do well if I was like a Slumdog. Like if it was just all those moments from my life that led up to like the game of trivia night, then I'd do all right. Other than that, I just know a lot of random stuff.
That's so fun.
But that could be very useful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This episode actually had some fun guest stars. We had Ennis Esmer, who I know as Wexler from Dark Matter, but a lot of people know him from Blind Spot and a lot of other Canadian sci-fi shows. Have you guys worked together before, Tim?
We had never worked together. We knew of each other and met each other many times. He also he takes on the role of host of many of Canadian events, the Canadian Screen Awards, and so we've met multiple times. We have lots of friends in common, and he's a super funny guy. So it was great. We finally got to really like hang out, kind of. I mean, I wasn't always, with there when he was there, but yeah.
Yeah.
And Nikki Duval, I thought the genie, just Nikki. Oh wow, just wow. What an actor. Yeah.
I absolutely love the storyline. I love this like twist on genies. This season, we had Cupid, which was a fun twist, and now we have this genie twist. I've been loving what's happening this half season. Yeah, Kari?
Oh, so much same. Yeah, it was because I was curious where the brain eating direction was going. It's like, okay, cool. It's a demon that eats brains and gets their intelligence. All right, I buy that. Like that makes sense in this world. But it's like, oh no, it's a genie. And then just, I love the like, well, why does he just make himself the smartest in town? Well, because he's not. Like her humor was just delivered so well. It was just so funny. I really like empathize and sympathize with her at many a times. And then it was an interesting direction of where her end goes.
Yeah, I really love the idea that she's like, they're going to end up killing themselves. That's how my job works, is I do what I do and just wait for them to die.
I
really love that. Yeah.
Kezzy in the chat says she was a mood. Yes.
Absolutely.
I like checking the phone too. It's like a way for her to connect with the world. She's probably can't go do anything while she's doing genie business. So it's like, here's my way to connect with the outside world.
Who was she texting all the time?
I think she was posting stuff on social media because it was like, hey, have I gotten likes? But that's a good question. Tim, do you know? Like, who she's...
Oh, cool. Guys, does this guy look like he has the answers?
I assumed that it was going to somehow play into what's happening, and like, because who is she texting?
In all fairness, I'll say this. It's because a lot of people, when I live tweeted on Friday night, the episode, people were saying, oh, well, how would Doc have all this knowledge of pop culture? He was in a well for 180 years. Well, we filmed a scene. One of the things with vampirism is you can't sleep. So they're saying, what we're saying is he got up, went down all these YouTube rabbit holes, read all these books. He just went he went pop culture crazy. So we filmed a scene where I was sitting at the bar actually studying stuff, and I had my glasses on. I guess you'd call them spectacles because they were the olden days ones. I had my spectacles and my books and all my stuff, and I was learning stuff, but it never made the show. So it got cut. So it is quite possible that the texting stuff had a reason, but did you want the freaking way hot scene we got, or me reading books, or the genie saying she was on Instagram?
I see your point. Point.
Yeah. Aurora in the chat said she did mention wanting to know her likes on Twitter.
Ah.
So she's a Twitter addict, is what we're saying.
And then Tim, Amber asked, she was like, I would have loved to see that scene. Is there a way we can see that scene?
Hey, I'm surprised I remembered filming it. I just remember there were so many questions of people saying Friday night, saying, how does Doc know all this? And I knew we filmed it because I asked that same question. I said, hey, man, if I was in a well, they said, oh, you don't understand. There's a scene and you'll see he's reading all these books. And I said, okay, great. Vampirism makes perfect sense. Well, you can't sleep.
Yeah, that is such a reasonable. I don't think it ever crossed my mind.
Yeah.
I was like, Doc he pays attention. He watches TV.
There was lots of people. Yeah.
I'm harping on the wrong things. I'm harping on who she's texting. I was too focused on the genie. I really did love this idea of stealing brains and eating them to be smarter. Do you know what the brain sandwich really was? That was especially the one thrown at our team.
No, but that was I remember watching that scene because I forget that I'm on Wynonna Earp, and I said, this show is nuts, man. He just threw a brain sandwich at the girl, and it was funny. And I've just realized, like, what a great show that we're throwing brain sandwiches at each other. Like, it's just nuts.
I like that you forgot you're on the show.
Like, I mean, like when I'm watching, like, I know we're supposed to tweet, but it's like I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we better say something soon because I'm caught up in the show, you know?
Yeah, I mean we all are. That's how we feel. That's why I don't live tweet shows. I'm enjoying them. So
you wait for that commercial break, maybe.
Yeah.
And then here we go.
Also, me shouting at the TV is the fastest way to get my thoughts out, you know? Awesome. We have lots of people in the chat. I'm loving this. Sydney says, I way hot scene. I think it's supposed to be a heart. I love that. Aurora says this episode is a great mix of batshit crazy and some serious moments too. That's true. I really loved, let's talk a little bit about the serious stuff. You know, Rachel now knows what happened to her invisible monster boyfriend. And we have this moment with her and Nicole talking about, you know, now is the time that we're going to deal with that. We said we would, and now we're going to. How are we? I know we only have 3 episodes left after this, right?
Yep.
Do we wrap things up? Are we going to be left on a cliffhanger? Can you tell us anything?
I know the exact answer. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you anything. No.
Great. Are we going to be sad? Like, I just want to know if I'm going to be mad and sad. Great. Okay, thanks.
You may be one of those things.
Okay. That's fair. Well, now okay. So
maybe all the above. Yes.
I want to talk about chicken kicking.
I'm so glad they came to that. They came back to that because at first it was a moment of going, did we miss something before? Should we know what this is? It's enough of the hints, and then Oh, okay. Because it was too big of a moment, multiple moments for it to just be a throwaway thing. So I was like, oh, okay. It was a good build up and payoff.
Honestly, seeing her kick that chicken, I was like, that she's got my vote, because that skill, the skill to kick that chicken, that's so impressive. Do you know how many takes it took for her to kick a chicken?
No, unfortunately, I was not there on the chicken kicking fiasco day. I heard about it. I was like you guys watching the show. I was like, what are we talking about? What chicken? What are we even saying? I forget everything. And then I said, oh yeah. In the bar, she can tell this guy. What I didn't realize is, did we ever find out why the guy ate the shit sandwich? Or was it a shit sandwich, or he just ate shit?
He ate shit because what was his name in this? Doug. I want to call him Wexler.
Yeah, but we never saw that, right?
No. Luckily, we did not. Okay. I'm so grateful.
The other thing too with the chicken kicking, she seems like she's also maybe intoxicated as well, like so frustrated that I was like, that's a good hand-eye coordination, being a bit buzzed and upset, and it was very amusing. Yeah.
Earp Theorist in the chat says, I was like, Kat must have been a soccer player in another life. Absolutely.
Yes.
I was positive, based on the story, that she kicked a live chicken. And so when it was a cooked chicken, I was like, then who cares? I would have been upset if she kicked a live chicken. Like, you know what I mean? So who cares? She kicked a chicken.
It was a weird thing to make fun of somebody for. Like, that's funny, not like, I mean, I guess it's more the moment in time where our character, who is so put together, probably the most responsible person in town, finally let go of everything and essentially did something embarrassing. And that's more what they're poking at her. Because it's like, yeah, like you said, if it was a real chicken, it would be like, whoa, we need to address this. But a cooked one, it is whatever. But also it's just her shoving people and being far more violent. So it's probably more just the, hey, remember that time you were a moron and acted all weird in public? Rather than just the chicken. So it just sounds funnier to say chicken kicker.
Look at you making sense of this.
I bought all of that.
Yeah, it was perfect. But I think it's interesting that the town didn't vote for Hot, because we're in a town of demons, a town where like shit goes down all the time. And they were like, this responsible adult, no, let's not vote for her. She's like the only responsible adult in town.
Well, guys, what about Waverly? She's pretty responsible. But I'm not saying Waverly ran, but Waverly's pretty responsible.
I think she's too nice to enforce rules and tell people what to do. Like, she could try to, plead with them of like, hey, can you not do that? I don't feel she quite has the like, no, you can't do this. I mean, unless it was a real like obvious right or wrong thing, because if it was like that, I feel she could step up to the plate. But I feel she's too nice to be in that position.
I also feel like people know her too well that they wouldn't take her authority. Like, I'm not saying that she doesn't have authority and doesn't deserve to be there, but I feel like the people in this town wouldn't respect her authority.
Yeah,
I'm just saying she's responsible. Like, I'm saying if you ask me which one of those two files their taxes on time, I think it's Waverly, not Hot. But that's just
you think Nicole does not file her taxes?
I didn't say that. I never said that. I'm just saying you guys are saying that Nicole's the responsible one. I'm saying Waverly's pretty responsible.
That's true. Let's talk. Speaking of irresponsible, let's talk about Doc. So Wynonna is finally thinking that Doc has stooped to her level, which, like, to be fair, Doc previously in the past had been at her level. I don't know why she's looking for something new. Just start harping on something old. And so she thinks that it's time for them to get back together because he stooped to her level, which is a whole lot of like, girl, get therapy, but whatever. Moving on. Doc has not stooped to her level. He is not the murderer. Shocking.
Yes.
Kari, was there any point where you thought it was Doc watching this episode?
I thought it was probably some other new creature being introduced, because he does seem to have it. Like, he has his own system set up. maybe earlier on I would have bought it, but now it's like, all right, he's been a vampire for a while. He knows what he's doing. Maybe if it was like the first, 10 days or early on, maybe. But now it's like, no.
Yeah, I also at no point was like it was Doc, especially when they were like it was Doc. I was like, no, it clearly wasn't. Also, the like holes seemed far, like they seemed far apart for bite marks. You know what I mean?
How did the episode start?
It was a fight scene.
And then after that, didn't something happen in an alley?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Well, we don't know. We don't see it. We just see the dude walking through an alley at one point and trips over feet and then finds the body.
Ah.
And he was a werewolf.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, this guy must be a werewolf. Those sideburns are pretty epic. No, I was also going to add, I like that it started with the fight scene. We had our Nicole and Wynonna fighting, and shout out to Jim Gerard, the director of the episode, because I was like, oh, this totally feels like Vagrant Queen and fun and the music and just ladies kicking ass. So I feel that was a good springboard for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, this episode was just fun all around. Like every episode.
Hold up, it wasn't the werewolf that bit him?
No.
He was worried he's gonna look guilty though.
Yeah, the
had that
like I'm gonna get in trouble now.
That makes so much more sense. Yeah, right.
I was actually surprised because we saw the werewolf again in the bar, which Doc is now running and has minions.
I don't think that I'm running it the way we left the episode. The last episode, as I said, the guys could do whatever they want. I think I just don't have anywhere else to go right now. The homestead's not really welcome to Doc these days, So, and his other go-to used to be go hang out with Waverly once in a while, but Waverly's pretty busy. She's got stuff going on. It's pretty important. So, I think this is just his place to kind of sulk and go through what he's going through.
You're in charge by default.
Yeah, because the other guys, it was Dallas and Remy are like doing whatever Doc wants.
Yeah, the other guy, the werewolf, his name is Freddy. I know this because it says it on my script. I guess I just never call him Freddy on that show, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he's there. I assume we'll see him again.
Yeah.
And now there's far more people at the bar than we saw before. And it was so nice, actually, in general, in this episode, there were so many other extras. We had noted before how empty the last episode felt. So it was nice to have more people populating the background. But yeah, maybe for the bar, the other monsters, demons recognize that Doc is probably one of the smartest and stronger creatures in town, that all right, he's top dog now. And he at least treated them nicely enough that they go, okay, sure, you're in charge.
It reminds me of in Mean Girls when Regina's out and they start following Katie. That's what I feel like is happening, is that Eamon's out, so now they're following Doc.
They need somebody, so.
They're the Gretchen and Karen? Is that
I never gave Eamon a protein bar.
That's true.
I saw that movie. Good movie.
Nice.
So I'll tell you what happened is we were fortunate enough to be the very first television production to go back and amidst coronavirus and film. So not only were we filming these insane, crazy episodes, but the whole thing was it was summertime, but everything else was new. But that is why it was so we switched the scenes to the live event for the auction, because scripted, it would have been 200 people in that room, and we would have had a giant thing, and eventually I remember people talking like, man, do we got to change the scripts? What do we do? But we're just like, these characters are so great. You don't if everybody's watching to see 200 background and giant rooms of people, we're not Game of Thrones, we're Wynonna Earp. We always have been. We kind of we go by the heart of what we are. So we're like, I don't know. I think it could work. And we had no choice anyway, This was even before they started having some sort of backgrounds and masks. We were just figuring out all the rules. We were the first people. So, a lot of people had to follow what we did after. And then some things opened here or there, how many people you could have in a room together or whatever. But that was that first episode. It was literally like us, and I'd film, and like someone was always like 8 feet away. But it's hard to keep Doc and Wynonna 6 feet away in a scene, even when they're not talking to each other. You know what I mean? It's so.
Yeah, Amber says, I love the live stream auction. I agree. I think that was such a clever solution.
It was very smart.
It felt real. It really just felt like something Eamon would do. Would be like, oh, I'm just gonna live stream. That's more money because you have an audience who's here and one that's out. It's very smart. Yeah, keeping his budget.
Very relatable too. Of like, oh, cool, people are watching this. We get this. We understand what it is. And the emptiness in the other episodes did work. It did. We'd notice, but it kind of works for what was going on in this episode. So it was nice for this episode, for episode 9, to have more people at the bar, because maybe now with Doc in charge of the bar, more demons feel comfortable going there. Maybe they had issues with Eamon and how things were run or something like that. We were kind of noting like maybe they're in danger or captured in a well somewhere, which we've hadn't got none of that in this episode. And then trivia night was like, oh, cool. Of course, the town comes together for an event. Maybe other times they are keeping to themselves. So it was refreshing to have them back, and it made sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. I really enjoyed this. I also love I think my favorite line was telling Wynonna that she can't just pop into the glory hole unexpected, because that's not how glory holes work.
Yeah. Isn't that the whole point of a glory hole?
Boom, boom.
I mean, I believe so.
I think there was another one where she said, hey, Phil or Gary, go jerk off.
That's why the show's so great.
That was my favorite, I think. It was pretty random.
Yeah, it's a really great.
What was his name? It wasn't Gary. It wasn't Phil.
Is it
Herb?
Remy?
Somebody knows somewhere. Hey, Herb.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. Aurora said, I thought maybe it was the werewolf that was introduced, but that seemed like too easy an explanation. I agree. Poor Freddie. Yeah. Kari, any other thoughts that we need to touch upon?
I thought it was an interesting also moment for Nicole and Waverly of, you've kept a secret from your partner and you're embarrassed by something you've done. And then this was a moment for Nicole to come clean with that. So that was really nice to have that relationship have a moment, because they don't normally keep any secrets from each other. So this felt like a weird one to not, but it makes sense. Like, you don't want to look lame or, any negative way to your partner, the person you love. So it makes sense that she wasn't telling, but apparently this is a big enough thing that it probably would have gotten out anyway. That, and then also how Nicole got to talk to Doc of like, is there anything we should be talking about? Or I feel like they finally are getting a little further along in their relationship.
Yeah, I feel like Nicole being back in charge of the sheriff's department, and we've got the Black Badges doing their thing. I like that Jeremy's back in town, not stuck off wherever. I feel like we're like slowly moving towards where we should be, and I'm nervous and excited about what's happening. But really, like, the big thing we're all waiting for, I'm saying this for everyone, but I'm sure there are people who will disagree, is Doc and Wynonna. That we're resolving that, right? That's going to be resolved. They're going to get back together. They're going to be together. Okay.
Life, guys.
Yeah.
Life.
I can't not. That can't not. That just can't not.
I mean, I don't know. It like where Doc's at in these episodes, it's like I think he finally realized that to have a future, he needs to let go of the past, and I feel like he's doing that. He's been doing it, this whole season. He's been doing it actually. What an arc over the 4 seasons he got. It's just what a gift. And I think he kind of wonders why Wynonna still. Before it was easy for him to say, let's just go Bali and move because he never had the hero's burden. He was never the hero. He didn't have the burden. She had that responsibility. At the end of the day, Wynonna had to save the day. Everyone can help her here or there, but it was always on Wynonna's shoulders. And I understand that. So that's why it was easier for him or anyone else to say, oh, let's walk away from this. But now he just doesn't see why she's fighting. He thinks it's hard not to see that she might not start to just love the fight, where he doesn't anymore. And I think it's really interesting the way we ended that episode, because I don't think she needed to kill that genie. And whether or not she did or didn't have to kill the genie or not, it's interesting. I'm saying I don't think Doc would, where he's at, think that is the way. And he did say that thing about, sometimes the gun does go to their head. I mean, nothing in the show doesn't happen for a reason. So, I don't know. Love is complicated.
That's so interesting. Kari, how do you feel? Did you feel like the genie's death was warranted?
I feel definitely it's not an easy yes or no, but I do agree and understand the logic that Wynonna had, that the genie is just too powerful a thing that really doesn't stop whatever is requested of her if that request is a negative and dangerous thing. And I think it was the fact that she essentially has apathy of like, I don't care that if my wishes cause destruction. And it was the moment with Wynonna saying, it was the moment when you silenced me that really made it like, okay, you would let this danger happen and not step in. That I think if the genie had more remorse of like, I wish I could help, I wish I could do better, then yes, definitely have been like, okay, you can keep her alive. But the fact that she really is like, well, whoops, it's just too dangerous of a creature to exist in that way. So in that leaning, but yeah, it's definitely not an easy debate per se.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, there was the quick joke about putting her back in the lamp, or the trophy, as it was it season 1 or 2? Anyway, but when she was like, I don't have like a capture device. I think you're right. Like, unless BBD was planning to cage her in some way to keep her safe.
But see, that'd almost be worse.
I feel like they would use her.
Yeah, and that could be more dangerous as well.
Right. And you're right, she didn't have remorse. She was like, whatever, I got to tweet about it. Also, now I want to see the Twitter feed. Like, I'm dying to. That phone really distracted me. And
she's just saying, when she silenced Wynonna too, she's like, I just didn't want to hear her screams anymore. And it's like, so you really don't care that you're directly having someone be hurt, be killed, something, and you're just like, well, it's making me uncomfortable. I don't want to listen. And actually, side note on that and connected, I did love how this episode had a lot of really good, like, hey now, like message moments without feeling too like smacking you over the head with it. Like there's that moment too of silencing women and anybody coming forward against violence. There was as Tim was saying, gun can go to their head. I'm like, anybody in power and gun going to their head. I feel that's message there. Even Nicole saying, oh, you guys didn't want to vote for me because I'm gay. They're like, oh, we don't care if you're gay. So it's nice to have like that address. Like I felt there's a lot of moments that were great to have statements, which felt very on brand for the show. And maybe that was something kind of missing in the earlier episodes, is it wasn't as like something making a push. Not that the show always has to have a statement or anything like that, but I feel in general, the show, the core essence of what it is, makes positive statements and makes topics come to the forefront. And then you want to discuss those and be like, hey, have you thought about this? So. Absolutely. It's one of the best things about sci-fi and fantasy series is that you can address real issues in a fantastical way so that it's palatable for people who may be afraid to listen. But Amber in the chat says captivity is usually worse than death. And that's what I was thinking. I get that. But like breathing sounds nice,
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's interesting. we have one person made that choice for everybody, and I understand that she's our protagonist. So you're just like, yeah, go. She's right. I don't know.
I don't think it's as quick as that, but kind of. I mean,
I don't know.
Who can keep her in check though at this point? That's maybe the problem. Is nobody. Everybody should have somebody maybe keeping them in check, and nobody's really pointing out to her that much. It seems like it's more internal at this point.
That's true. The person who usually keeps her in check, he decided that he is done doing it.
Well, I mean, she walked into a demon bar knowing that the only person that could kill, that she's the only one who can actually kill demons with the demon killing gun, and kind of pulled it out in front of everybody, just like, yo, here you go, I'm here. And
she does whip it out a lot.
And then whip it out at the end of the show to kind of show again, I'm the top dog. I get it, and you are, but I don't know. I've never been a fan of the alpha. We're starting to get into a little bit risky waters.
Yeah.
Tim, what was one of your favorite parts filming this episode? Amber asked that question.
I mean, the trivia night was just, come on. Trivia night was fun. I mean, you see it on screen for like 2 minutes, but we made up answers. Well, actually, I learned all mine, but Varun just makes up whatever he wants and was saying all this stuff. They gave us like an extra list of stuff that if we wanted to, we could say if we didn't have the script. I learned all of it. It was like 20 phrases, and one of them was the NSYNC guys. Yeah, that was awesome. And then, just to reunite with Jem was just so incredible. But like I said, it was a very strange time. It was COVID, and it was in groupings, and we weren't together, and I couldn't communicate with the crew like I used to, and it was an very interesting time, and it was summertime. So
yeah, when did you guys shoot this episode?
I guess when do we go back? July? It would probably still be July or August.
Wow. Yeah, there's a great line somebody put in the chat. Oh, I'm gonna find it. Oh, it was Kezi says, Wynonna said, it's above zero. Go outside. So relatable. Yeah, because it was warm when you guys shot, right?
Yeah. I maybe shouldn't say this, but there was another very interesting thing that I noticed is that one of Doc's answers during the trivia thing was Army Hammer.
I did notice that.
Cannibalism. Just saying. Just throwing that out there.
No, I noticed it and I went, I wonder if this was before that.
Yeah, well, of course it was before, but I just thought how random. And this is episodes about cannibalism.
Yeah. It was good. It was timely.
Yeah.
What was it like filming now when it's warm? Because I feel we've had so much snow on this show for so long. And watching it from Southern California, I'm just like, man, do you guys ever want it to be sunny and warm to go outside?
Well, two things. I love the winter, and the winter there, like Banff is about an hour from where we film in Calgary, and it's probably one of the most beautiful parts of all of Canada. It's like our biggest national park. So to get to go there is just such a treasure. I love it. But yeah, summer was definitely awesome for filming outside, except, this freaking Corona. So I never stopped quarantining when we weren't filming. And I just felt we had too great a responsibility for me to go to, because stuff was open still at that time, but we were the first production back. In my brain, I'm like, no risk is better than low risk. I'm not going to be the one to stop this production. Like, it's just too important. There's too many people waiting for this. We waited 5 years. So I didn't really do it. I stayed in my condo, man, and then I went and filmed, then stayed in my condo, and I missed the summer. But that's what it is, It was Corona. It was Corona, man.
Well, at least you had a nice warm time on set, because you guys all of you have to deal with the elements filming outside. So I thought that was a nice change of pace to not be.
Yeah, you noticed Doc's in a t-shirt.
Oh, we noticed.
Yeah, it was like it was nice.
It's the thing that's confusing to me is every other season we're in snow and we put Waverly in a crop top, and now we're in summer, now crop top. Nope. Last episode, she was fully covered. It was very confusing.
Wasn't she? I thought she was in a bra in one episode.
She had that first blouse. Yeah, it was really low. And
Wynonna had a bra in the last episode.
Yeah.
What people everybody's walking around naked?
Good. As it should be. As we want. I gotta give this shout out. C Royalty Music says, wow, Tim looks like Massimo. Didn't even recognize him as Doc. Absolutely. We're rebooting Lost Girl and Instant Star. And I will watch both. Amazing. Kari, am I forgetting something?
This one was cute too. And actually, that's a good thing to address. Kezzy says, I love the trivia night when Jeremy was like, Archangel Gabriel. And then Waverly was like, I should have got that one. I'm the one. Oh, I read Paradise Lost. So here's another moment where Waverly is essentially almost going to announce that she's an angel, part angel. And like, oh, just kidding. To hide that. And it's interesting of either, why do we want to keep hiding that at this point? Does that make her more of a target if people know? Should they just come out and say that? Like, it's interesting to bring that up again, that I'm curious how that will play into the rest of everything going on.
Tim?
Keep that hot. Just keep that hot on the burner. I don't know what the line is or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hey,
Point.
guys.
All right. Things we're paying attention to.
The fun stuff is over.
Oh.
Those were the fun episodes.
Oh, okay.
I see.
Yeah, and we dealt with, brain eating and frickin', yeah. So just buckle up.
Wow. That's a perfect transition to get into predictions. I know Tim can't predict
Yeah, he's going to be
anything.
like,
can you predict how we're going to feel?
I know exactly how you're going to feel.
Okay.
I feel it.
Wow. All right. Kari, some predictions?
ooh, I think the idea of Waverly being angel is going to come out into the open, and I hope she comes more into that angel power in a good way, because it's one of those great power you can kind of go good or bad. And so I hope that gets more, or at least she explores and practices her powers. That's often a thing of like, if you don't practice them, you won't know how to access them or use them when you need to. I think Wynonna and Doc, it'd be nice if they could talk this out. I don't think that's going to happen, but because they clearly know where each other stand, but they haven't really had a conversation about that, but we'll see. Or at least be on a bit more amiable terms of like, all right, fine. You agree to disagree kind of a moment, because they're definitely very much like almost avoiding each other at this point. So, and Nicole's kind of coming back more into the fold of being part of the group. So I'd like to see her do more as well, because she's very capable and I think she's getting that confidence back. And so I hope that continues as well.
I think those are solid predictions.
What about you?
I'm just trying to watch reactions. I think, okay, I agree that the angel thing definitely has to come back into play because, yes, it has been brought up. It is important. I think that's going to be something. Personally, I think that Wynonna and Doc need to reconcile in some way, be just friends who bone, fine. If that's what it is, then fine. I'll accept that. They could even be enemies who bone. I'll accept that as well. And I think that this whole Rachel Billy thing is going to tie into what we're doing. So it's not like we took this weird turn to deal
Speaking
with.
of a turn.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'm taking it back. I take back what I said. Never mind. I don't know what that means.
For anybody listening, Tim's on a chair and he's twirling around.
I take back everything. Let's see what's happening in the chat. Amber, buckle seatbelts.
Yes.
Bam Lover says, hold on to your butts.
I do like that a couple people point out, Amber said angels can be violent for sure, Michael. And then also Earp Theorist, Lucifer. Lucifer is also an angel. So, this is true. So Waverly could go, who knows?
And if we're heading biblical, we still got to deal with Eve, wherever they are. C Royalty Music says, I feel a season 5. That's what I feel and want. Same.
And Tim, everybody's loving your trying not to say react at all. B Daily, Tim's trying hard not to give anything away right now. LOL.
Oh, hi, B Daily.
C Royalty Music says, but Doc and Wynonna can agree on one thing, and that Waverly is most important. It'll bring them back. Ooh, I like this. Okay, so Waverly gets like real angel-y and maybe a little scary and bad and violent. And so our friends who bone have to come together to save her. And then they bone. Yeah.
I wish we could do this every week, man. Filming is just like, wow.
I mean, girl, we do this every week.
Yeah, I'm saying
we have another episode next week.
You could, be here every week. We are here every Monday at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. But Amber says, honestly, I love this new look. We're all enjoying this blonde. It's nice.
Well, it goes away on Thursday.
Oh. What color is it going?
I'm most likely going to have a buzz cut.
I was just going to say, you getting ready to buzz it? You going to shave it off?
No, I leave Thursday morning to start a film in Italy. And I will be playing a soldier returning from Afghanistan. So they've already asked me, would you be okay with a buzz? So I might as well just throw it out there now for anybody, because everybody seems to be whenever I do something, hair change, face shave, it's like a thing for some reason. So get ready for a buzz cut.
Well, it's like, have you seen that video where it's a dad? There's actually a lot of videos of that where the dad shaves their facial hair and their baby freaks out because they're so used to it. So yeah, your fans were just so used to it. So it's like, oh.
Trust me, that was on my mind, because when we wrapped Wynonna, I went straight to another production. But my son wasn't allowed to come to Calgary, but they were allowed to come to Newfoundland. And I normally, when we wrap, I shave the mustache immediately, but I wouldn't do it until I got to see him do it in front of him, because I was so panicked to have that moment. He didn't care either. He didn't care.
That's good.
Are you, if this is the end of the end, are you sad to say goodbye to that mustache for good?
I mean, I don't even know how to answer that question. I'd be beyond devastated. It's heartbreaking, and it's painful to think about saying goodbye to that character. I'll say this, that makes it easier. I'm so proud of the 4 seasons that we did. And now this doesn't mean everybody's going to like it, but I really love where we kind of end up. We don't end, but where we end up, I'm content with a lot of the things that happened for some characters. I want to play this character forever. I mean, why would I want to say goodbye to him? It's hard. It's hard. I'm very fortunate too to work on other things. I mean, man, just to get to work as an actor is a blessing, but to get to work on a show where you love the character is one in a million. It's no matter what happens, I think I'll always remember this as one of the best times of my life. I know that for sure. And the other thing that also, because I've been doing this for a lot, I mean, we did a lot of press and this question comes up. And for me, I always say, and I mean this honestly, Earpers won't stop, which at the end of the day, that's kind of all that really matters, is that the fandom won't stop, no matter if the show ends, because in so many ways, the fandom's more important anyway than the TV show about, we're eating brain sandwiches, man. It's great, and I love it. But what this fandom has created is something so important and powerful and magical and real, as opposed to, we do amazing, beautiful stuff, and I love our show. But I'm just saying the important thing here is is the fandom, and I think it will continue no matter what. And that's how I can look at it. It makes me feel like, okay, if I have to say goodbye, I will. But no, I haven't said goodbye. Why? It took us 6 years to film 4 seasons. They took the show away from us before. Who knows what happens? If it was any other show, would have moved on in my brain and everything. I know it's Wynonna Earp, man. The phone can ring tomorrow. You go, after Italy, I can start growing that mustache. It's just things happen.
How quickly can you grow that stash?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, not that quick. But they're incredible what they could do, and they've always had fake mustaches for me. I just never used them because I can't do it. But if, God forbid, I do whatever we got to do to get done. The good news is I really could grow facial hair faster than just anybody. I don't know. It's crazy.
So you're a vampire and a werewolf.
Yeah.
You're the underworld hybrid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that
Yeah, in Underworld they get the hybrid guy.
Yeah.
Werewolf. Vampire.
Yeah. Good movie.
Before we wrap, let me ask, what can we do as fans? What can we do? What do we do? Tell us what we do to get this to continue. What do we do? Where do we go?
I don't have those answers to the questions, and I would never ask anybody to do anything anyway. Just be Earpers. You don't. At the end of the day, that's what I mean. Like, I want the show to go again, but if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. What needs to continue on is Earper. Is just to Earp. I mean, it's important. Some of the most beautiful moments I've had in my life revolved around the fandom, you know what I mean? Not around the show, but around the show also, I love it. But like the real ones that touched my soul were like the real life moments,
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Tim, for joining us again. We love having you here on our show. If everyone wants to keep up with you, they know where to find you on socials. But is there anything else you want to plug? Any shows or episodes or things we should keep an eye out for?
Well, this summer on Sci-Fi, I have a new show called Surreal Estate coming out with a guest star and a guest director people might recognize as none other than Wynonna Earp herself, Melanie Scrofano. And I get to also rework with my Schitt's Creek alum, Sarah Levy. And I can't wait. It's I just saw the trailer and my mind was blown. It's so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah, cannot wait to see it. Kari, where can everyone keep up with you?
Yes, wait, there we go. Yep, y'all can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's KARIDLANE. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. And over on my YouTube channel in a little bit, we'll be covering the season finale of American Gods.
Awesome. If you want to keep up with our Earper recaps and reactions, we are here on Amber Plaster's channel. Make sure you have subscribed so you don't miss it. Give this video a thumbs up just for fun. Don't forget to follow Amber at Amber Plaster. The links are below. Also, Alexis Torres, who couldn't be here today, at atorres890. I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. Right after this, at the top of the hour, I'm going to be on twitch.tv/Yael Tygiel, attempting to play Genshin Impact. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I'm doing. So come make fun of me there. And we will see you next week for more. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Tim. Bye.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. And thank you, Amber.